We are live now.
All right. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the Clayton County Board of Education 2020 millage rate public hearing. At this time, we will call the meeting to order. Please note that we do not need a quorum for this meeting. So I'm going to do a roll call for our board members, and then we will proceed with the meeting. Oh, and before I do the roll call, please, I would like for all of us to stop and take a moment of silence because Representative John Lewis's funeral is starting at 11 o'clock, and I really wish we could have canceled this meeting for that purpose, but let's take a moment of silence in his honor. Thank you. All right, thank you, everyone. And I'm going to say to everyone that I hope that you will vow to keep yourself in good trouble. At this time, I will do a roll call. Jasmine Bowles.
Present.
Mark Christmas.
Here.
Jesse Goree, present. Victoria Williams.
Present.
Ophelia Burrows. Mary Baker. Judy Johnson. Dr. Alika Anderson. Ben Straker. All right, we can start our meeting. At this time, we will have public input on the 2020 millage rate, and I will turn that over to Ms. Benton.
Thank you, Ms. Goree. At this time, we're going to read public comments into record, and Ms. Tamika Billingsley will read those comments. She's the finance director.
Okay. Go ahead, Ms. Billingsley.
Good morning, Madam Chair, school board members, superintendent, and the community and Clayton County staff. I will read the public comments. There were 3 that we received in. The first one is from Ms. Pamela Talley. My name is Pamela Talley, and I have been a Clayton County resident since 2008. I am emailing to express my opposition to a 3% tax increase proposed by the Clayton County Board of Education. We are all suffering as a result of this pandemic already. Our children are not in school, but are home indoors with us as parents this year. We are having to pay increases in utilities, childcare, food, and other essentials while educating our children virtually from home. This proposed increase would decrease the amount of disposable income for families at a time when every single penny counts. Now is not the time for a tax hike. We are hurting enough as it is, and our taxes have already increased this year. Please do not approve this request at this time. Residents are already financially strapped, and it does not make sense to raise taxes for schools when kids are home with us. Our county doesn't even supply the kids with laptops. We need our money to cover these expenses right now as we speak. Again, I am opposed to this increase. Please consider your residents. We are hurting financially as it is. Please don't take advantage of us with a tax hike right now. Now is not the time. Thank you. Our second comment comes from Ms. Myla D. Chapman.
Excuse me, Ms. Billingsley. Ms. Billingsley.
Yes, ma'am.
Before we move on, let's address that because we need to. Could we address that we're not having a tax increase? Either Ms. Benton or someone address that. And also, please, Ms. Talley may be listening. She mentioned that students won't have a laptop, and that is not going to be the case. They will be issued a device. Ms. Benton, can you address that?
Yes, so currently our current millage rate is 20 mills, And so the proposal is to keep the millage rate at 20 mils. So the millage rate is not changing. However, because of reassessments or a reappraisal of property values, that's where the 3% comes in. So if we note on a fair value property that's valued at about 100,000, annually that increase would be $17.64 a year. So it is not the millage rate. We're not proposing an increase in millage rate. The increase is coming from the reappraisal of property values.
Thank you. Dr. Beasley, did you want to add anything?
I'll just add that Ms. Benton is absolutely correct, but it should be noted, as you've already shared, Chair Lady, that students will get laptops. And also, let's be mindful that the goal is to get back to school face to face. And if we want to have school, and we will continue to have school at some point, even face to face, we'll still need teachers and textbooks and staff and school nutrition workers and maintenance workers, et cetera. So school still has to go on. And so we've got to make decisions about where we're going and where we'd like to be, even beyond this pandemic. Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Billingsley.
Yes, ma'am. The next comment comes from Ms. Maya D. Chapman. Her comment is no tax increase, no tax increase.
Okay.
Third comment comes from Ms. Cassandra Millbrook. And she states, my name is Cassandra Millbrook. My husband and I are homeowners in Clayton County, and we are very concerned and frustrated with Clayton County's Board of Education 2020 millage increase. Our first concern is why the increase when it is clear that there are a lot of schools within the district that are not up to par. Most of the schools in the county have low testing performance results, and the quality of education is not where it needs to be. My child is a student at Northcutt Elementary School, and I cannot count the numerous concerns incidents that we have had with teachers and the administration at the school. As parents, we take education very seriously and expect nothing but the best for all students in the district. Most of the time, there is no accountability and only excuses given when issues arise. We are tired of paying more money in taxes for a school district that does not provide our Black and brown children with the same quality of education in counties such as Fayette and Henry County, etc. Northcutt Elementary is also very, very old and is in need of serious renovations. The middle school received a new marquee, but the elementary school did not, which looks very tacky, especially with them being side by side. With all of this being said, how can the Clayton County Board of Education continue to increase the millage rates when there is so much not being done here in our schools? I can go on and on with my concerns and the issues that we have endured, but I will leave my comments as is. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Billingsley. And to respond to Ms. Millbrooks, my Northcutt is a school that's in my district. So noted that there's not a new marquee there, but there is a Northcutt is one of the elementary schools that will be a part of the aviation magnet that will feed into North Clayton High School. It also, Northcutt feeds into North Clayton Middle School, which has the drone pilots and aviation, and early college that will be the magnet there. So it's so noted regarding the test scores. We are always striving to improve everything instructionally within the school district. And we are going to say again that the Clayton County Board of Education is not increasing. We're not increasing taxes. We are trying to keep the millage rate at 20 mills. The tax increase comes from the assessment on property, and that is through the tax commissioner's office, not from the Board of Education. Dr. Beasley, would you like to add something?
I would, thank you. I think it's so important that we share the parents. We appreciate and acknowledge the parents' perspective.
Yes.
I'd like to say, she mentioned Northcutt. I'd like to say Northcutt has had unique challenges, as you are well aware of, Madam Chair. That school is in an area that has a very high mobility rate, as we all very know. And unfortunately, many of the students come to the school already several years behind. The teachers do a phenomenal job providing them instruction to get them up to grade level. But if you've got a lot of students that are already behind, who are coming from families that are very transient, that alone presents many challenges. I don't want to write off the parents' concerns about accountability, because we have a strong system of accountability, and we have seen improvements even at Northcutt Elementary School. But I do want to always ensure that we're informed as to what the data looks like. The data is not a reflection sometimes of the ability of our students. Sometimes the data is a reflection of the issues and the circumstances that they have been basically born into. If some students are not getting access to literacy at an early age, research tells us that impacts students reading on the grade level or above. And so, again, many of our students at Northcutt, they are working to recover and to make up learning loss and deficits several years behind. And the mobility rate, very high for that area, is just one of the challenges that the principal and teachers at Northcutt Elementary School continue to deal with. But when we as a community continue to prioritize literacy from the womb, when students can come to school ready for kindergarten and ready for first grade, I can assure you all kids, if not most of them, will be reading on or above grade level, and the test scores will reflect that. But until we as a community, as a nation, address until we address the inequities relative to access to early learning opportunities, the literacy emphasis that occurs in some families and not in other families, all of these things will directly impact the progress that teachers can make, principals can make every day with students in the classroom. No excuses, just want people to be informed that Northcutt Elementary is making progress, but the principal and teachers there are dealing with challenges that are beyond their control.
Thank you, Dr. Beasley. Are there any other comments? All right. And please, Ms. Millbrooks, please note that I did make notes, and we do understand your concern. And I'm sorry, I neglected to recognize our attorney, Clem Doyle, is present at the meeting. So at this time, we have received our public comment. We will have another meeting this evening at 6 o'clock. If there are any other constituents that would like to send in public comment, please feel free to do so. At this time, we are concluding this meeting and calling adjournment. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.